The one is, of course, a rendering in a floor plan, and the other one is an aerial to try and show where the building would sit and where the access, where I'd like to have the access come out onto Birds Road.
Why Birds Road?
Thank you, guys.
Here, can I have a copy?
Nicole, have you seen these? No. Do you have any concerns with the traffic?
Here. It's stairs. What it is, it's a duplex, and it's on slab, meaning it doesn't have a basement. It's ground-based, perfect for that. And so what I'd like to do is, as is shown, access out onto Birds Road. And if you look at the rendering on the drawing of it, that's what it would look like on the Bird side. The back side would be mainly windows and patio door. Meaning the south side.
This 200 plus, that's feet from the intersection,
Yeah,
I'm guessing?
Actually, it's, you know, I should go out and measure it. I think it's 250 feet. But it, yeah, that's how far it is to the bend in the road there that turns to the stop sign.
Why Birds Road?
Because to design a building coming back off of
Below?
Bello or Below, it's difficult to make the building look good on the other. Actually, when you got the garages on the which should be the front side of the building, it's tough to make a good looking building on the back side. The backside there by being Birds Road. Just like the first building was built, the front of it actually faces Birds Road. And that's the way that this one here, in my opinion, would look best on that particular lot. Otherwise, you got a backyard on Birds Road and a front yard on Birds Road, and that just doesn't quite aesthetically, I think that's incorrect. One of the things about it too is that the driveway, where I got shaded green, that's roughly 46 foot wide. That means that anybody backing out doesn't have to back out onto the street, much like the guys across the street whose driveways are too narrow. They literally got to back out onto the street to get it going. You can make a wide turn coming out of your garages in either unit 1 or 2. And
One big driveway for both.
yeah, they're connected.
Yeah.
They're connected, yeah. So you don't back out into the street, you make a wide turn and drive out into the street. I think any of the guys can do that on the other side, with the exception of the fellow that's got a sort of a loop in and a loop back out.
What's the standard two-car garage driveway? What's the standard two-car width of the garage?
What it would be is,
No, I'm saying, you said this is 46 feet. What's the standard two-car garage?
oh, standard is about 20, 22. Yeah, 46 feet is way enough. A lot of times what people do in order to turn around with the driveways, they put a little bump out there into it, so you can back into the T and then drive on out. Unnecessary here, because the driveway is so wide, it serves both sides. So you simply can back out and turn around. Pretty sure it's around 46.
John, I don't see a safety concern because there's already driveways that are going on to that roadway.
Okay, thank you.
And it's far enough from the bend.
Well, it's 200 plus, I should have measured it.
I just checked, because something else on the agenda, we were building the city street out in the industrial park, and we had to move a driveway into Bodine's because it was too close to the intersection, so I think it's 150 feet is the minimum criteria for a driveway from an intersection.
But this one incorporates the bend into it too, so you don't want it to be too close to
It
the.
sounds like it's a couple hundred feet,
Yeah.
so it should.
From the bend or from the intersection?
No, from the bend.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your setback on Birds Road?
Pardon me?
Your setback?
From birds. Well, you gotta be 33 feet for the right of way, then 10 feet for the easements, and then I got the Comelec. I don't know how they ever placed their fiber optics, but there are another 15 feet or 12 feet, something like that, outside of the easement onto the property. So when you have that from the curb, it would be, let's see, about 15, about 45 feet from the curb. It's quite a ways back. It has to be because I don't want to ask Commonwealth to move their wire. That thing's been there forever for whatever reason, and I don't know why it was ever put outside the easement. I really think they'd have to move it if I asked them, but I don't mind setting the building back in the first place. It'll look better because it lines up best with the first building that we built.
Do we consider that a corner lot? Is that what we consider that?
I'm not too sure. So the front is, I believe 45, maybe 50 feet from the curb, and the back, of course, is 33 plus at least 20 from the center of the street. The little rendering I got here is a little crude, but it does fit in there pretty nicely.
This looks like a nice building, but I think it has to go to planning and zoning, doesn't it?
Is there any action needed? Is there any action that's needed?
I think it has to go to planning and zoning, doesn't it?
So you want us to take it to planning and zoning next month?
Yeah, I think it should go to planning and zoning.
Guys, I gotta tell you, I prefer not.
Why is that?
Well, because of the time of the year. We procrastinate this and we're gonna get into bad weather and then we're gonna have a heck of a time building this without getting hit by the snow. And that's not an avoidance of planning and zoning. This is zoned for that type of building. And I think it's meeting all the requirements and it's within the setback distances. I think it's time pushed off that is absolutely a deterrent for me.
Karen, what's our protocol on that?
The reason this is coming here is just because of access. Typically on a, like a subdivision plat, you know where those driveways are gonna be. And when Gary called me about that, having an access on Birds Road or, Below, with it being, it could go either way. That's why I asked that it come to the council to be at least considered.
So it doesn't have to go in front of the planning and zoning?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, it was zoned for this type, like
It's
Gary said.
R3. It's zoned
It's zoned,
R3.
already
I
zoned
mean,
for
they
this
might
type of
wonder
building.
why.
But it's the access that is.
It's the access.
And I hate to see anything
So-
on Birds Road, but
Building gets built, just say a regular home gets built on a lot, does that go in front of the planning and zoning?
No, it does not.
So that'd be the same thing?
Because we know, where those accesses are gonna be. We've seen a subdivision plat. We have a final plat. If it's a corner lot, they can go either access, one street or the other, and that's But with this one, it's just a little bit different of a lot, which I felt that we in City Hall shouldn't be making the decision where that access should be on Birds Road or below.
Well, I agree with Nicole, there's already access onto Birds Road on the other side. The driveway's wide enough that they don't have to back out onto Birds Road to get out there. It's already zoned for this building.
Setbacks are all fine, right?
Setbacks are fine, yes.
So I guess I don't see then why we need to have to go back in front of planning and zoning.
Yeah, that's just kind of a redundancy to send it back to them again to look at it and say, well, it's already zoned R3. So-
But the access is the question. The other one comes out on Belo.
Right, so you would expect that all your accesses would be on below.
But I also see what he's saying as far as the front of the existing building is facing Birds. So you'd want the front of this building
Facing Birds also, yes.
The difference is you have a driveway coming out of here. Aesthetically, I think you'd want it, like you said, you'd want it facing Birds.
Well, there's another reason too that I haven't brought up. When we build a building, you like to take a look at all the things that are involved in it. And one that we haven't mentioned or talked about is the sun in the winter is in the southern hemisphere. That's down here. Okay? You don't want the sun hitting garage doors. Does no good. You want the sun hitting, and that's why this first building was built the way it did. It's got the yellow glass on the back side. Because the sun's in the south in the winter, the most efficient way to do it. Garages always belong in the north or the northwest corner, at least in respect to efficiency of where the wind comes from and where the cold is. That puts the garages on the front of the building, the north side, knocks the heck out of the wind, and the building becomes more efficient because you got the sun in the back where all the glass is, and you've got the wind on the front or the north side where you got garages. That's the place to put garages, northwest. And that was considered too. Now it's a totally different story on the other building, because the other building, the garages were tucked underneath the far right and far left. And yeah, we didn't come off of Birds Road with that. It worked best not to. But I think in this case it worked best to come off of Birds Road, especially when we can turn a car around before we ever enter the road. And it's only 2 units here, it's not 6.
I really don't see a problem with the driveway. I mean,
Do we need a motion on this then, or?
It'll come through with the building permit. I was looking for directions so that we could get this building permit going, because it's gonna have to go through ECIA's inspection and all, or review and all of that. The building permit will. And it will come back to you on the consent agenda.
I don't see any reason to go take it back to planning and zoning.
I really don't either. So you want them to go ahead and,
I'm good with moving forward.
Me too.
Karen?
Okay.
Carla?
That's fine.
Okay, yep, go ahead and get a TCIA then. Thanks, Gary.
ECIA, I'll have them plan tomorrow, send over to them.
Get them in here.
Uh,
We'll take care of them in City Hall. And if you can email them to me, just call Kelly tomorrow and she'll walk you through it.
okay. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Bet.
That helps me a great deal, because I really think it's in not just my best interest, but the best interest of Peosta to do it that way.
Yeah, I think it'll look
That corner is
good.
really funny. It is tremendously long, the triangle there. It's virtually non-usable beyond too much of where I have it drawn because it gets narrow, and then you got the setbacks, so pretty soon you got nothing.
Right.
So, but I'll keep it as far east as I can. I'd like to keep it about 12 foot off the property line.
Okay.
That keeps it to the east.
All right.
And that would be more satisfying to the distance of the corner, which is with the driveway.
Okay. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
PC update, is Stacy not coming?
She's not here.
Okay. So if you have any questions, you'll have to contact Stacy. Looks like everything went good with the remodel of the weight room, and it looks like they're getting quite a bit of work done on the meeting room. Anybody got anything they want to say on that? Otherwise, we'll move on. Police monthly report. Anything?
Any questions on anything on the report?
I don't have any questions. Anybody? No?
What were the parking enforcement? Somebody parking there.
It's usually semi-tractors that are parked up in gingerbread subdivision. 5-ton weight.
Or the new construction, if they're overweight, we have a 2-ton weight limit.
Oh,
If
okay,
they're over that limit, then they'll get.
okay.
Is that all the streets in town, or 2-ton?
Yes.
Is it, unless, except for local delivery, correct?
It can't be parked overnight,
Right, right,
so local deliveries would be out and done with.
yeah,
um,
okay. Lockers, police building.
We budgeted $2,837.70 for lockers back when we did the budget. And we've got, I'd like to get the lockers ordered. I think you got a copy of the invoice. And they're within $1.35 of what was budgeted with the freight, so
Those are 6 lockers.
6, yes,
I thought they were already ordered.
Why do we need 6?
for the future. If we get them now, they'll all be the same, but if you would get them 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road, they're gonna be different.
That rate is a government rate. Those lockers are about $250 more a piece, not at the government rate. And it does take about 3 months to get them. Currently, the bathrooms on that side where those lockers are ready to go is an unfinished section. So it is fitted for the lockers to go in there.
You said we had budgeted 2837.
2837.70.
No,
They are already
nope,
ordered,
you gotta click
No,
on it.
they are
according to
not.
this. Oh, they're not.
You're in the wrong meeting, you're in a work session. No, no, you can't.
We'd like to order them, it takes 3 months to get them, so.
I thought it said that, I thought the sheet said they were on order. Let me see.
They're not.
That was the invoice to get the payment processed, but the payment's not been processed yet.
You gotta log in here, Karen.
I tried. You guys go ahead. This could be a one.
So, we did budget for it.
Yeah.
The money's there.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of lockers for the police building at 260994. Excuse me, 283635.
I'll second. Carla, aye.
Karen, I.
Kathy, aye.
John, aye.
Okay. Anything else, Jim?
Thank you. Yeah, a couple things. One is there's a lean conference in Des Moines I'd like to send Nicole to October 1st through the 3rd.
What kind of conference?
Lean Law Enforcement Intelligence Network. Big one. There'll have some training down there for 3 days. I'd like to send her to that. I'd like to get somewhat of an okay. I mean, we're gonna have it on the agenda again the 25th. But if we can get an okay now, she can get an early registration and save some money on the thing.
Is there a cost to that?
200 by the 21st of September, otherwise it'd be 225. And then there's a hotel.
How many days is that? Or how many nights?
It's 3.
2 nights?
I'm sorry.
2 nights, 3 days?
Be 3 days. Yeah, 2 nights. No. 3 nights.
3 nights, not?
Yeah, 3 nights.
Yeah, so have to be down by the day ahead of time.
She's gonna go down Sunday, late Sunday afternoon, so she's ready to go Monday morning when they start at 7:30. So,
And where's it at?
It's in Des Moines.
Des Moines.
We do, this is part of a program that we actually do. We pay dues yearly on this for MOCIC, and that's the Mid-States Intelligence. Lean is the Iowa side of that, and our region happens to be the head hosts this year of the conference. But the training program, which you guys will be able to see on the agenda, Jim has a copy of it right now, has a significant amount of new information that's coming out, not just on previous incidents that have happened, but also for like our internet scanning stuff and all kinds of training over the course of 3 days with head speakers throughout the state.
We've got $500 per officer budgeted, so it'll be right around the $500 figure for the motel and the training. So that is in the budget.
Pardon me?
I don't see a problem.
No. Yeah, she can go ahead and get it set up and bring it back for,
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Council.
I have one more thing. I want to thank Jeff Tice from ProPulse. He picked up the cost of the 3rd body camera for the department. And that was $1,455.
Are you guys gonna take care of sending them a card or whatever? Or do you want the city to do it, or who's gonna do it?
I'd like the city to give them a little recognition for it. Like to have it in the minutes and also maybe send them something for doing it.
yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate his support.
I was gonna mention
City
it about the
employees.
claims, I saw it. I forgot.
Okay, yeah, we'll get him a card.
We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Public Works Monthly Report.
First off, does anybody have any questions on anything in the report?
How are we doing on installing water meters?
It's as the house is called, those water meters is what I'm talking about.
Pardon?
It's as the houses, the ones that we're building, those houses that's mentioned.
Oh, okay.
It says they come in, we install them.
Are we still installing new ones in all the houses though, or that's just,
We haven't done anything with that yet.
okay, all right,
That's kind of a winter project, hopefully.
okay.
Those batting cages down there are pretty much done, aren't they?
Stacy had a little bit of some kind of material order for the backside of it, just had to get, but the structure is done. But there was a little bit of a target or something like that she had to get for it. She didn't know what she wanted to do, so that's why she was waiting on that, I think. But they are done. And one of the bigger things is we had quite a few manholes in Parkview that were buried in people's yards that have been buried forever. A lot of them were 20 inches down or 15 inches down, so it was kind of an undertaking getting those raised up and to grade where they're supposed to be.
Are those all done now, or more to
Yes.
do? Are they? Okay.
Did you raise those up or did you regrade?
Well, some of them are just buried.
Great.
We raise them up to the grass level or just under the grass level.
Anything else on that? Move on to the truck service box. Avalon does not do steel?
He told me he will not sell me a steel box.
Okay.
He said he can get them, but he won't sell them anymore. No, the Avalon, they'll do an aluminum box. The truck box we have currently is on Woody's truck. And I think it's original with the truck in 2012. And the underneath is rusted out. The frame's rotten, there's holes in it you can put your fingers through. And so, if we're going to put it on a brand new truck, I'd like to replace the service box. And I got some prices there. But this Grant County in Wisconsin is kind of where I'm leaning towards. They will take your old box and sell it. They'll get out of what they can out of it, and they'll take it off your hands. No one else will touch them or look at them or do anything with them. I know a couple guys that put those boxes on and they really like them. They're a good price. The steel is cheaper than the aluminum, but the steel will not, they only last so many years. So if you're not going to get rid of it, it's either going to rust out, or the aluminum is more money, but it doesn't rust. So that's why I know like Ronnie and Epworth went to aluminum boxes and Tony's going to aluminum boxes.
Tony
Carr.
Oh, okay.
He's going to aluminum boxes because no one's having it. The steel ones are rusting out. The winter driving around here just eats them up. But I definitely want to replace the box off that truck, if possible.
So this wasn't a budget of
It was not a budget item.
But you don't plan on getting the crane?
We're not planning on getting that jib crane. I don't see the major call for it right now. We get a lot more use out of that truck service box and we're going to get out of the jib crane right now, in my opinion.
So you're thinking the Grant County aluminum box?
That's what that's the route I'd like to go, but it is more money than the steel. That one's about $98.20. That price has the state tax figure for Wisconsin. We don't have to pay that. So the actual price in the aluminum box is $98.25.
Okay.
It's not $10,365. And vice versa on the steel box from Grant County, it's $81.25, not $85.71 for the steel box.
So the aluminum can last longer than the steel?
It sure should. Aluminum won't rust. But I would hopefully like to see that box go on 2 trucks and then get traded. Get at least 2 cycles out of it, switch it when you trade the truck in, put that box on another truck, and just get a system of that's kind of how you rotate it in and out. Because stuff in Iowa doesn't last forever outside in the wintertime. Anything you drive in the snow does not have a long life. And I got prices on some from Tri-State. It's the same kind of box we already got. We didn't have that great of luck with them, so wouldn't be really pushing them that hard, in my opinion. We already had a box just like that.
So the cost without taxes is $98.25?
On the aluminum box, the cost without taxes is $98.25. And that is installed, that's installed.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the truck box at Grant County for $98.25.
I'll second.
Carla, aye.
Karen, I.
Kathy, aye.
John, aye.
Okay. Delaney, tires, tractor and tires for the tractor.
That was a budgeted item. They had budgeted $31.50 for tires and rims on that John Deere tractor. I got two prices, one from Jason Blaney, who lives in town, and one from Tom's in Dyersville. And Jason Blaney's price actually just beats them because we don't need the front tubes, and he figured those in for $87.90. It actually wouldn't need those. So he is going to actually come in under Tom's price a little bit.
Which portion then we don't need on this?
It'd be the second from the bottom, far and rear tubes, if needed. 11.24. It's second from the bottom, 87.90 total on the far right side. I didn't catch that till after the fact that I had this all sent to you guys. We won't need tubes in the front tires. Shouldn't need tubes in the front tires.
And we budgeted $31.50.
$31.50 for that item.
So, can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the John Deere tractor tires and rims through Delaney's for the price of $31,0605 minus the tubes.
Tubes.
I'll second.
Carla, aye.
Karen, I.
Kathy, aye.
John, aye.
All right.
One of these, was there, somebody was charging something to get rid of the tires, the old tires?
Yeah, I think Pomps was.
Pomps was charging the gear.
We use them at Kelly Oaks for anything? Planter?
Yeah, I don't think so at this point.
No?
Yeah. We just need grass.
No. Never mind.
Thanks for the thought.
Okay. Kelly Oaks Storm Sewer Extension, Stump Removal, Mila Drive Cul-de-sac, Slope, Reshaping Estimate.
Didn't we forget the?
We missed the industrial park?
Did I? Oh, I'm sorry, I did. Sorry. Industrial Park Road Construction Project west of Bodine Electric. Jim, that'd be you.
Drawing here we can hand out to look at. This is, if you're looking to the left, Bodine's right here. To the left is the Industrial Park Drive, that new street that we're laying out and designing. And part of the problem we encountered was the entrance into Bodine's is fine. It's the exit coming out. What you got is, here's their existing right now, and because of this intersection that we're going to put in here, run that street to the north, it's obviously too close to the intersection, kind of similar to Gary, what he's asking, is it close enough, too far away, whatever. We had to move it, so we had a meeting out there with Jeff Bodine, and he was okay with putting the entrance and the exit together, the way it's shown.
Just using the one
Yeah,
driveway
yeah.
instead.
And It's on the agenda because part of, I was wondering, it probably should be part of the project. And typically when cities move accesses and such, it's not technically the owner's responsibility, it would be the city that they're doing the improvements and changing things. You're looking at about $5,000 to do what you have to do here. We got to put some curb in here to widen this radius. This is just painted, that median. It's not a curb or anything, so.
So their entrance is wide enough to do in and out on
Yes.
both? Is it?
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't remember how
we can make
wide
it
it was.
2 12-foot lanes and a 5-foot median. And that way, it meets the criteria. They don't have semi-traffic in there, maybe once or twice a year. Otherwise, it's much smaller vehicles that go in and out of there along with cars, like the shorter trucks that would go in there. So it width-wise, that's a typical highway width is
And
lane is
if
12
need
foot.
be, could we run them out the backside? I mean, if the semis did find it difficult to get in and out, could we run them out the back side of the parking lot?
Either that or what would happen is they would have to get people to move a few cars here, because I didn't print it out, but we did an 18-wheeler, I don't know what they call them technically, but a semi. We have a program that can show you the turning radiuses and such, and the movements. And it would just be a matter of the truck was scheduled to come in that day. Jeff said that would be fine. They would just make sure people weren't parked in this area, so if they had to turn around, they'd be able to maneuver that truck in there.
Well, a lot of the truck drivers would go back in here anyway.
However, yeah, so he didn't think it was a problem at all, and he would be the one that would question it the most, because he'd have to deal with it when it happened. So he was very comfortable with this layout.
Okay.
So I just want to put it in front of you. If there were any concerns or objections to what we're proposing, you had an opportunity to look at it.
I was up there looking at that, and at the end of that parking lot, you got a drop. I didn't find any markers for where the street was going.
Yeah, we haven't staked any of that yet.
But you're gonna have to put a lot of dirt in there.
Yeah, there's about 10,000 yards that'll go in there, 10,000 cubic yards to build that up.
There's no way to stay up on the ridge,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. There's about 30 or 40,000 cubic yards of material that's got to come off of the site where the treatment plant's going to go. So,
And 10,000 that will be able to use for,
and we have this about 98% done. So what I can do is get it done, get it ready to have a public hearing and the plans ready, set the bidding date. If you want to do that, you can do that yet this fall and get it bid. And if possible, get started moving dirt if things stay dry. And then have a next year completion date, kind of like what we do with Tennis Lane. So that way you got a contractor, if they can work in the fall, that's great. And get something done, you get a really good bid environment later in the fall like this, if you have a spring completion or early summer completion. So I'll proceed with that and get it to you, if not the next meeting, for sure the first one in October.
discuss amending the urban renewal plan to pay for this with TIF and also include the wastewater treatment facility. What do we have to do to amend the urban renewal?
We'll work with John Danos at First King. If that's something the council chooses that they would like to do.
Is that something you want to do?
I would think so. Right?
You would think so?
I would think so. That makes the most amount of sense, right?
Need a motion on that, Karen? Or just, you're gonna contact him, or?
I'll have to contact them. I guess the question has always been asked, how are you gonna pay for it? And you guys were at that TIP training, when they were talking about that, and they were talking about bank bonding, and doing this for electric loan, which you could use, the street reserves if there's enough money in that fund to be able to use that. Just have paperwork done up for an internal loan. And use TIP to pay for that, but you have to incur debt to be able to use TIP. It can be internal debt. It has to be debt. You remember that from the TIP training, correct?
I left. Doesn't have to be bonds, is that what you're saying?
No, it has to be debt. It can be internal debt, or you can sell bonds, but you can't just collect TIP if you don't have any debt.
So we could use the TIF, but we have to use it as a loan.
Correct, but you could borrow internally from the street reserves, because I believe the cost of the project was around $186,000, is that correct, Jim? But if you're doing that for the street, you're also gonna want to include that wastewater treatment facility, because you don't have to use TIF, but you could.
And how much do we have in the street reserves? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, I can't answer that question.
Okay.
Should be about 400,000. Not that there is. I don't want to use TIF.
She said it should be about 400,000.
Yeah, we do. That's lump it, put it, because it's a sewer project.
You want to use TIF?
Yes.
It's a street project.
So is everybody good with using the TIF money then, or?
Yes.
You're gonna have to explain that to me later. Because who we gonna get the TIF? Who's gonna get the TIF? The city? We don't pay taxes. We don't pay property tax.
We have to use it on our borrowed money and borrow it from ourselves.
Yeah.
I should have stayed.
So we're good with that?
Yes.
Need a motion on that, Karen?
No, I'll just
Okay.
start talking to John.
Just discussion, okay. All right, moving on. Kelly Oaks Storm Sewer Extension, stump removal, Mila Drive, cul-de-sac, slope reshaping estimate.
So I believe you guys all have the estimates.
Yep.
So I just want to kind of walk through what all it says there. The Public Works put this estimate together for us, and I just kind of went through it. The storm sewer water pipe extension, that is the part of the first phase of the park, along with the disc golf.
Is that the one up at the far end up there?
Arma out to basically the ravine where the NRCS wants to put the Fleximat in.
So we'd be good with just running it down like that, or?
No, so this is burying a pipe from Arma, plastic pipe, doing the drop box.
Oh, doing the drop box,
Yep,
okay.
doing the
All
drop
right.
box, burying the pipe, putting
Okay.
the rock backfill, and then basically having this phase done yet this year to basically be ready for hopefully early spring to do the Fleximat. So what's in here is the material, labor, everything, the equipment rental. They ended up putting in labor in here. All of these quotes here are with labor and a city truck, so I'll explain some of that. So the dollar amount you see and highlighted there is in everything. But if you take out the city labor and the city truck, it's $58.20 is what the estimate is for that first project. So there's $1,600 worth of labor and city truck cost in there. Any questions on the storm pipe? Everybody understand what that's been in the plans for the phase one of the park from day one.
That's obviously up to us to do that, right?
Yes, all of these here, your question, all these here are for the city labor, so us doing the work.
And are you guys able to? Yes.
Do the installation.
So the next portion of it would be the stump removal. So stump removal on that one, to clarify that a little bit, the parking lot, where the proposed parking lot is at, we left those stumps there. We did not want those stumps ground out due to basically rotting later at a later time and then putting sinkholes under the parking lot eventually. So we're always planning on ripping those out with an excavator. That would be on us to do that before any parking lot got put in. So that stump removal, for that, there's your dollar amount. So there, again, the 5,300 is equipment rental, labor, and all of that stuff. So if you take the labor, if you take the labor out and just put in equipment rental, that's $3,200. Our labor and truck is $2,100 of that. And then pending how many stumps were removed there are some other big stumps throughout the park that we would probably throw in on top of that. But that's going to be pending on what the hour level. We don't want to try to exceed this quote, obviously. And I can talk a little bit more about that at the end here. Any questions on the stump removal? The Mila cul-de-sac slope and reshaping. That's basically the issues we've got now. That was filled in way back when they put the cul-de-sac in. That was put in to basically so we didn't lose that concrete. They shaped all that in there. There really wasn't much other than dumping the fill in there. So now we want to maintain that and groom it, mow it, and keep it from washing out. It's washing out pretty bad on the backside. We want to reshape that so it's basically to a level where they can safely mow it and maintain it. Pull that back, so that's what that dollar amount is there. A lot of the dirt that would come out of that, so the trucking, the 30 hours of trucking, a lot of that dirt's not going to be taken away from the park. It's actually going to be relocated in the park. Primarily, a lot of it will go into the first ravine down towards the end, which would be, if you guys have been up there, is disc hole 2. There's a lot of washout towards the end. We got to kind of reshape that and fill that in before they put the flex mat in. Because there's a lot of water that goes down that, and it's basically tore the end out. So some of it will go there. We might put some of it elsewhere in the park, but that dirt will not basically leave the grounds. So any questions on the reshaping? Again, on that one, it's listed there at 12. The total without labor is $6,400. 6,200 of that is labor in the city truck. So if you're to add up all three of these projects, taking labor out, that's $15,420. With the labor in the city truck, that's $9,900. With a total for all three projects at $25,320. One thing to remember is when I brought this last time with the sewer pipe extension, I asked for $14,750 for the storm pipe and some other things. I did apply for a Parks to People grant on that. That grant is pretty much awarded at this point. That grant was for the $25,000 for tree removal from Kleesner, and then the $14,750 that I had for storm pipe and other things. So we got $6,400 on that grant. I have to have that spent by the end of this year. So in order to basically get that $6,400. So there's a little bit of a push to accept that so we can get going on the remaining three here to basically collect that grant money.
So you got $6,400 to spend to take off this.
So yeah, so I got $6,400 for that, and we got approximately $1,400 for the disc golf that is installed. And hopefully we've all been out there to play it. I know we have been.
Somebody was saying yesterday they ran across a couple people from Marion that came back up.
Yep, so there's a disc golf app that you can go to. There's actually been a lot of people have rated our park, which pretty good little deal for a new park. They've rated it very high. There's a lot of, if you don't know it, there's a lot of avid disc golfers and very good reviews. So they're having fun. They're losing discs too. I have talked to the city about that a little bit. Myself included, we found ours, but I've got poison ivy to prove it, so.
I just go around hole 2.
We've actually played hole 2 a lot, and so we played the safe way. It's fun, it's a fun time. I encourage everybody to get out there. Any questions on this? I know there's a lot of, I've got a lot of chicken scratch here to help out, but I can go through any of the numbers if you want me to go over them. I will say we did meet, myself and Dean did meet with Russ Overton from the NRCS about the progress of the creek stabilization. Armacourt, the one that's on the front side that we're calling the first one, he's pretty much got that mapped out. We did make an elevation change, I believe. It was a lot more of a slope. We've actually flattened it out, if I remember correctly, because he was wanting a lot of fill brought in, and we have no fill. So Dean has been working with him to basically understand where we want to put the pipe, because where we set the pipe lays the groundwork for the rest of the trench. So they've been working together to basically make sure that the installation of the FlexiMat is successful. As soon as we get those quotes in, the process for that is for us to go out to get contractor bids on both ravines. And then that goes into the Catfish Creek watershed meeting. They get approval for the project, and this project's 100% funded at that point.
Okay.
So any questions here?
25,000 total.
Including labor.
That's including labor.
Minus the 6,400 or 6,400 you had?
He'll get it when it's done.
For the grant?
Yeah, so I got 6,400 from a grant that I submitted that was basically the 25,000 for the tree removal, and I estimated the public works estimate 14,750 on equipment rental, which is close to, we said 15,420, which was the no labor cost. Mm-hmm. Depending on how you want to look at the city's labor, I don't know if you want it in the numbers or not. That's why I kind of broke it out. There's $9,000, almost $10,000 of city and truck figured in there. So, but I guess to answer your question, yes, that 6,400 would go towards all this and the tree removal.
Okay.
And then I think after that, our group's feeling after this is done, that's when we can start going in and applying for larger grants to take care of the trails and stuff like that. This was kind of to get the park going and started.
You mean the walking trails or the trails for the disc golf?
The walking trails.
Okay.
So the larger ticket items, it's the next phase of the project. But getting those stumps out of there is kind of a big deal because we start bringing trucks, and for the bridges, there'll have to be cranes come in. You really don't want those stumps in the way, and they're kind of they're tire knockers at this point if you don't watch it. So, any questions? So I guess what I'm asking for is approval to proceed with the three, I would say, last phases of our group's push for this year. Keep us on track to be ready for next year for the FlexiMat.
I think
So
you
this will all be paid out of the parks fund that we have?
Yes, and if you look at, Kelly actually added this today. She was working on the spreadsheet for where we were at for what our expenditures have been to date. So we have those 2 grades included in there. And then the money that Fidelity raised for Picnic for the Park and all the expenditures that we've had to date. So the current ending fund balance is a negative 24,504.31. And the council budgeted 100,000 to be used towards park improvements.
So that leaves us with 75,000.
495, correct?
So would their labor, or the city's labor, come out of the 75?
Yes.
Question I had for that one, I didn't get a straight answer. So if it's general park labor, is that come out of there? So this is like a Kelly Oaks fund. If it's a general park labor, does that really come out of this fund, or is it the general parks?
Well, we didn't budget that much for the general parks fund. We budget enough like for the mowing of the parks,
Okay.
but not for these big expensive projects.
Okay.
But if you can put it in your hours for the grant, that ups the amount you can get for the grant.
Yeah, I could up there. I did get notification, Kelly informed me yesterday, that they are meeting Thursday. There's a little bit more money in Parks for People. So if that's the case, what I will do is add another 10,000 to my proposal to them, and yeah, I could get 14% of that paid. There's a high likelihood that I could get that, so I would, knowing what I know now about labor, I'll probably add that in and submit that tomorrow and see if I can.
I think we can do that. I'm pretty sure that'll work.
As long as I can show a bill. See, I didn't know that. I can show bills of all the materials, the excavator rental and all that. I don't know how I would show a bill to the Parks to People for,
The city
Five
level.
sheets for Kelly Oaks labor.
yeah, as long as I can do that, and I can show the official dollar amount, which we should verify what the labor, the dollar amount per hour is. Because I can, I gotta submit all that to them to get the grant money.
I can give you all that.
So I think, yeah, we had estimated $40 an hour, I think, in labor. For labor, and then truck driver was a little bit different. But I can, Karen, do I need to call you tomorrow and talk to you? Okay, I can do that.
It's the next logical step that we need to take to work, and we have the money.
As long as he doesn't go over the budget, he's good. And I know they are having a project meeting, I think Thursday.
We're having a meeting tomorrow, actually.
Grantwood
we can
and
do it.
Parks People.
Parks and People is Thursday. Our committee is having a meeting, tomorrow here.
Just keep bringing in as much as you spend and we'll be happy.
What's that?
Just keep bringing in as much as you can.
My boss tells me that at work every day. So I'm just looking for the approval for that at this point, and then we can move forward.
You're still within budget, so I think you're okay.
Yeah, I would think it'd be, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the Kelly Oaks Park stormwater extension, stump removal, and Mila Drive cul-de-sac slope reshaping.
I'll second.
Carla, aye.
Karen, I.
Kathy, aye.
John,
Thank you.
Bet, thank you, Todd. Okay, floodplain draft map.
Those were mailed, or you have those in front of you.
Yep, right here. And what are we doing with that, Karen?
Well, does anybody have any comments? I don't know if you can change the floodplain, but basically wanting to give you that information.
I'm assuming this information's going to the fire department too, or are we responsible to get it there?
We can.
This is where I'm assuming they got it, but I'm thinking we should send it on to them, just in case. That 743 Walnut Ridge, did we ever get that? That's just considered in the flood zone now, or what?
I believe so. I know Dave Schneider was working on that. And it was an acronym. I don't remember. It started with an L. I don't know where that's at.
And those lots in Cap Court were probably where we replaced the culverts and stuff after that one flooding.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if they replaced it. The flooded, I
think it was when we had the 13 inches. We had that whole spillway through there was a problem.
right in front of Premier Tooling.
Yeah, Premier.
I don't know if the culvert ever got replaced, just the road got.
The thing is,
No, the boxes I thought stayed.
will this affect their insurance, or do we want to leave it this way? Did we fix it? Do we?
I don't think that's something for us to fix, is it?
A lot of that is private property. It's not city right away.
And so they know that it's in this report. Right.
From a little bit I read of it, I think that we're supposed to be able to make this available to anybody that wants to see it, but I don't know how the city is exactly supposed to. If they see it, if we see someone that's in a floodplain that wasn't before, I don't know if it's our responsibility to inform them.
I imagine their insurance company will inform them, I guess. I don't know, but I do think it should be sent to the fire department.
Okay, anything else on that? All right, administration. Resolution 2018-42, resolution to fix date for public hearing on proposal to enter into a sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement and to borrow money thereunder in the principal amount not to exceed $1,105,000.
This is for the SRF planning and design loan.
I'm sorry, say that again?
This is for the SRF planning and design loan.
And this is just at the public hearing, right?
Correct.
For the 25th?
And that should be $1,105,500.
Nope, that isn't on here.
I was going to ask you, is that enough?
That's what we applied for the SRF. This is just strictly the planning and design.
Pardon?
Set a hearing for the next meeting.
Yeah. We can set it for the next meeting, can't we? 25th?
Yes.
So, somebody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to set a hearing for the next meeting for the SRF loan.
I'll second it, Carly.
Karen, aye.
Kathy, aye.
John, aye.
Okay, resolution 2018-43, resolution approving the plat of survey of the East Peosta Industrial Park number 4 in the city of Peosta, Iowa. That's over across Highway 20, along Cox Springs. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2018-43, approving plat of survey of East Peosta Industrial Park number 4.
I'll second it, Carly.
Karen, aye.
Kathy, aye.
John, aye.
Okay, citizen comment?
Just one. We had a call from a company called Dollar General, and they would like to come to Peosta. The lots are too expensive, but we introduced that to them. By the cost of the property was over $100,000 on each one of them lots, and just to do the projects was another $100,000 just to get it done. $187,000, I believe, was the cost, actual cost, to do any lot. They're a little concerned about that. Wonder if there was any TIF money. You were talking about it earlier, but if there's any TIF money, maybe we could introduce it and cut it down and take some less, we take less money for them. And make that work. Or we don't do it. That'd be another store in town, whether the city is comfortable with it or not. We got the water there, we got the wastewater there, with the curb and gutter there, we got the retention area set up in there, so
Is that in the cul-de-sac there?
it's in a cul-de-sac. Commercial cul-de-sac.
I think we could do TIF money on that, couldn't we?
I believe so.
Some kind of agreement, depending upon what they wanted. I don't think we'll do as much as we did with Fairway, but
What about rebate rather than TIF? 3 years.
I'm sorry?
What about rebate rather than TIF for 3 years? Would that do any good?
What would that amount to?
I don't know.
It's gonna depend on the valuation of the building, AJ,
Okay,
and stuff, so we can work on some projections and calculations on that. First thing I'm gonna need to do is to get from Dave Kubik a value of that parcel that we're looking at,
okay.
but then we can get some projections on
They
that.
need 1.2 acres to do the project.
and you said that was a Dollar General?
Dollar General.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, well, Karen will get you some numbers and we'll go from
Can
there.
you, like, is it specific, it's probably not platted yet, because we kind of plat them as we go. So can we, kind of get an idea, so I can give Dave somewhat of an idea of what we're looking at?
Mary Jo.
Okay. Sounds good, thank you.
Anything else, AJ? No, nothing? Karen, you got anything else? Anybody on the council?
The only other thing that I have is last night at the planning and zoning meeting, we just had this simple plat of survey. But yesterday, I got an email from Beazing to split a duplex. So the question was brought to, or came up for a duplex, just a, you know, a lot split to sell a duplex. Does planning and zoning need to come together and meet for that specific thing? Or is the council okay with having the chair for planning and zoning sign off on that and then bring it to the council for approval? And they said they were very adamant about it only being a two, if it is a duplex with, you know, it's one side, 0 lot line in the middle, it would have to be that type of a plat of survey, nothing else. Everything else they'd want to see.
Yeah, I think we could probably do that. We've done it before with other ones, so I think just a 0 lot line
Right.
would be fine.
So, yeah, and it would just be, if it was a 2 unit, you know, Sherry Greenwood has some over here, Gary Miller has a 6-plex, those would all go through planning and zoning yet. Okay.
Weird. Anybody got anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second Carlisle.
Karen?
Get the
We are adjourned.